little bit today. But guys, go the next person, right? The next person, this individual is she's a quiet assassin, right? She doesn't do too much yah rah rah, right? But when she does, she brings nothing but value. If you've ever been on her morning calls, if you've ever been on any meditation calls with her, if you've ever had an opportunity just to get on her mindset calls, you already know that she cares. She comes with a pure heart. She wants to help everybody. She even takes time out of her day to do calls where she just does question and answers, right? She always has an open door policy where you can just ask anything, or even if it's not about the business. We've had situations where we've been in other cities and she was able to like diffuse the situation in such a manner that I was just at awe. Like she handled it so well. And that's when I knew, okay, this person is a phenomenal leader. And leadership doesn't matter about the business. It doesn't matter about a rank. It's about the person and the willingness they have in them to help other people. And this individual was someone who helps everybody. So please, please, please help me right now in the chat box. I want you to drop ones in the chat for Muriel, right? She's going to come on today and she's going to be showing you the power of compounding. She's going to show you how to make your money, make you more money. And if you're not taking notes on this one, don't complain later when your bank account's looking the same way, because she's about to give you all the keys, all the gems, all the fire, and all the knowledge, right? To make sure your accounts are growing and getting bigger. So Muriel, if you're here, tap in with us. Let us know that you're good.
Here. Yes.
Hey.
Thank you for that amazing introduction, Rhonda. I'm so happy to be on the call with everyone, y'all. That just warmed my whole entire heart. Thank you for that. I'm so excited to teach you all about compounding. This is one of the first skills that I was like, oh, if I master this, I'm going to be all right. This is the skill that's going to keep you from blowing your account. Okay. 7's in the chat if you've blown your account already. All right. It's okay. We're going to be transparent here. We're going to be vulnerable. We're going to be honest. Okay. It is a rite of passage. It is normal, but know that any money that you've lost, you're going to make tenfold as long as you apply the knowledge that we are giving you on a daily basis. And I'm going to give you a good portion of that in the next 30 minutes. I'm going to set my timer. So make sure you take notes. I don't know about you, but I have a few pages of notes from Sean. Okay. Right now, what I want you to do is put in the chat whether you're trading HFX or Forex. Do not give me both. I want one or the other. That's right. Yep. I want one or the other. I want to know who's coachable and who's focused on mastering a skill. Yes, do they feed into each other? They definitely do. All right, so I'm going to go on and teach you all how to compound. First, I'm going to go over the foreign exchange traditional Forex, FRX compound plan, and then I'm going to transition to talking about HFX compound plan. All right, either way, it's going to be beneficial for you. But depending on what you're trading right now, definitely like be intentional about how you focus your mind as I'm speaking. All right, so I'm going to share my screen. Okay. All right, so put some 3s in the chat if you can see my screen. Let me know. And it looks like we have a lot of HFX. We have a few traditional Forex. All right, so for my Forexers, I'm gonna teach you all first. So what I want to do is I'm going to place this link in the chat. This is a link to an actual Excel sheet. And what I want you to do is open that sheet. Hopefully you're on a platform where you can open this up in your actual browser, because I want you to be able to go through this with me. If you're not able to do that, that's okay. Just follow along and you'll get as much as you can. So I'm going to put this link in the chat once I find my Zoom. Okay. I'm going to put it a few times. And I'm going to be flipping back and forth through screens. So, just keep up. Ultimately, I want you to click that link and go to the page. So when you click the link, it should take you to a Google Excel sheet that looks like this. All right. This is from Manny Quinones. He is one of our 7-figure traders. If you know, you know. If you're trading Forex, you should know who Manny is. And I'm going to go through every single part of this. Now, this is his document. So in order to be able to edit it for yourself, for me on my iPad, I have to click these 3 little dots in the corner, and then I have to share and export, and then click save as Google Sheets file. If you're on a desktop, it might look a little bit different, but ultimately it's going to be the same process. You need to save it as Google Sheets file so you have your own version that you can edit. Okay. All right. So now if you have done that, you should be able to edit the document. Now I want to go through each section and then we're going to actually practice. Let me make sure I keep an eye on my time. All right. So your initial balance, that is your principal balance. This is what you've uploaded in your Hugo's Way account. If you're in your KOT account, some people start at $50. Some people start at 100. Some people start at 200, 1,000. I am going to start us at $50 so you can see what this looks like. And this should be 0.03 to reflect 3%. Now, in this first column, that's your initial balance. Your running balance, you can update this yourself, but it has the equations all in the sheet. So if I were to hover over that, it'll tell me the equation. And then if I scroll over to the side, let's say I make a trade and I win that trade and my ending balance is $207. Well, we're starting at 50, so let's do $57. Okay, look, my ending balance is $57. Let's scroll back to the other side, update it. 57 is my new principal. All right, so now it updates all the other new principles. So that's how you do that. So let's say you're making your first trade. Let's change this to 50. And you want to risk 3% of your principal balance. That's 3% of $50. You don't have to calculate it because this sheet calculates it for you. Just scroll over. 3% of $50 is $1.50. That's how much you're learning to gain, you're wanting to gain, and that's how much you're willing to risk. All right, in this first trade. You can see Manny says, remember, please only take each trade at 5% risk max. Right now, we've got it set at 3%, but let's say we want to go ahead and risk the full amount, which is 5%. Okay. Hold on. Okay. So now let's look over. 5% of $50 is now $2.50. That's all you need to make on that first trade. Okay. That's all you need to make is $2.50. If you lose $2.50 and you risk the full 5% for your daily max or for your trade max, then you're done trading for that point in time. But if you have a 5% risk max and you risk 2% on your first trade, 3% on your second trade, then you can take multiple trades. But either way, your max is 5% per trade, and that's 5% of your principal balance. But let's say we want it to be 100, because a lot of you start your principal amount at $100. All right, so 5%, hold on, the equation is a little bit off here. This should be 0.01. For your first couple weeks, you're probably not, depending on how much you start with, you're probably not going to be risking more than that in your real account, just because you're a very, very, very beginner. But 5% of $100 is $5. So it populates it automatically. So you should have, you might get a little more than $5 when you take profit in your MetaTrader account. So in this example, let's say you took profit at $7 profit. So you won that trade, $7 profit. Check this out. It actually gives you a win or loss analysis over here in the form of a pie chart. So you can keep up, you can see, okay, am I winning more than I'm losing? Am I losing more than I'm winning? If the goal obviously is to win more than you lose, that's how you know you're making a net profit. Even if you're losing, you're winning more than you're losing. So you're making a net profit. People can sometimes be risk avoidant and are like, oh, I don't want to lose money. Then the investor mindset is not for you, okay? In this lifestyle, we learn how to take calculated risks. So we're not out here just avoiding loss, because that's going to be inevitable. But because we have the skills and the tools to be able to take calculated risks, we know we're going to win more than we lose. And we know that we're going to have a net profit ultimately. Okay, so as long as your pie chart looks like this and it's more blue than it is orange, you're good. You can keep track of that for yourself. Okay. So again, you're not risking more than 5% per trade. This is going to prevent you from over trading. This is going to prevent you from blowing your account. Okay, now let's scroll down. This is still at 100. So let's say we got that $7 profit, ending at $57. We updated. Oh, let me update this to 107. Since we changed it to 100. Okay, cool. So I'm going to take the loss away because we didn't have no losses. All right. So now our new principal balance is 107. We're risking 5% of that. And now let's look at this. Let's look at column E. Column E is telling us, based off of how many pips we set our take profit at, it's telling us what our lot size needs to be. If you've ever been on the Tuesday trade night call, you should know, and if you're going through your curriculum, you should know that when you enter in a trade, you're always setting a take profit and you're always setting a stop loss. All right. There are tools in MetaTrader that can help you measure your profit to loss ratio, your risk to reward ratio. So you don't have to calculate that in your head or on your calculator on the paper. I'm not going to go over this on that call. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, if this feels new, then you need to hop on those Tuesday night We Just Want to Trade calls, because that's the space where you're going to learn it, as well as the curriculum and the go lives. But for now, say you set your take profit at 20 pips. 20 pips, the market goes in your direction, it takes profit, you're out of the trade, you win that trade. If you have an account balance of $100, then you can go ahead, based off of this 5% gain, you can go ahead and have a 0.03 lot size. Okay, you can use a higher lot size, but let's go back to 50. You can see, look, when I populate it, it updates the lot size. If I'm trading with a lower principal balance and I only want to risk 5%, of course, the lot size needs to be lower. So I'm going to trade on a 0.01 lot size. But you can see as time goes on and that principal balance increases, that you can increase your lot size based off of a 20 pip take profit. Sevens in the chat if that's making sense so far. Okay. I got one person who understands what I'm talking about. All right, just making sure. All right. So, okay, bet. All right, so now let's look at column F. Let's say we're setting our take profit at 30 pips. Okay, cool. Let's say we're setting our take profit at 30 pips. You can see, because the market is making a larger move, we don't need to risk as much because it's taking over a longer distance, a higher distance. So we're going to be trading on a lower lot size, all right, until we get to a higher principal amount. Then it continuously automatically updates. Notice that once we don't get to trading a standard lot, a full lot, until we have almost $4,000 of a principal in our account. We're not trading in lots in standard lot sizes until we have 4K in our account. That should put some things in perspective. You need to be compounding your account and gradually increasing your lot size over time. And when you use a digital trading plan like this, there's no guessing game. This is what prevents y'all from making this opportunity a gamble. When it's calculated, this is what we mean by taking calculated risks. So going back to column F, if we're going to take profit 30 pips, it updates you and tells you exactly what lot size you need to do based off of 30 pips, a 30 pip take profit in column G. Okay, say you want to take profit with 40 pip distance. It updates you in column I what size your take profit needs to be with a 40 pip move. How do you know how many pips you're taking? By using the tools in TradingView, the measurement tools. If you don't know how to use that, then you need to be on Tuesday night's trading call and going through Go Live as well as your curriculum, because there are videos that go through that. All right. So that is pretty much it. Let me look at my time. Okay, perfect. So that's pretty much it for the Forex charts. Make sure you click the link, you save it. Even if you're not trading HFX, maybe save it just, when you're ready, when you feel like you've gotten a mastery over HFX and you want to try your hand at Forex. All right. I didn't go through his little messages up here. You can do that on your own time. It's pretty self-explanatory. I just wanted to show you how to use this tool. Okay, again, when you update your principal amount, $50, you only need to make $250 if you're risking 5%. If you only want to risk 3%, just update it in column C and it'll populate. It'll automatically populate. But 5% is $250. So let's go to 52.50. All right, that was a win. Okay, so now we need to go over here, populate that to 52.50, update it. Then it auto populates the rest of column B. Scroll over, say you got that 20 pip profit on a 0.01 lot size. Go over here, that should be $2.63. When you've made a total of $2.63, that could be in one trade, that can be over a couple trades. Then you need to take profit. Now this could be your how much you're risking per trade. This could be how much you're risking per day. It's really up to you. I encourage you to talk to your mentor to gain clarity on how you want to do it based on your goals. But ultimately, you're going to update. Say you take profit, you're at the day 3 or session 3, trading session 3, and you need to make $2.76, but you actually made $3. Just update it. Just update it accurately. Okay, so that's 55. So let's say $58. Okay, you just do it by hand and then it'll automatically populate it. Either way, you're basically going to start over every new trading session. Do not put in a trade until you've pulled this up and you know what your goal is for that session. Please write that down. If you are entering a trade and you don't even know how much you're supposed to be making in that session, you're not following the blueprint. All right, and your results are going to be all over the place because you're not following a trading plan. All right, so now that we're done with the traditional Forex, I want to go over HFX. What happened to my there we go. All right, so this one is going to be a little bit different. Okay, and I'm going to also put this in the chat. Okay, starting with that one, putting it in the chat. Please click it. If you know you're trading HFX, please click and save. Same exact way. You need to save your own version. So you're not so we're not all editing the same version. Okay, this is from Nez. Put threes in the chat if you know who Nez is. If you've ever learned from Nez, 7-figure trader, amazing educator. Put threes in the chat for Nez. This is his session tracker. All right. For those of you trading HFX, you should know that you might have 2 to 3 trading sessions a day. You might trade at 9 a.m. You might trade at noon during your lunchtime, and then you might trade at 9 p.m. And then you might have a 4th session for that day at 11 p.m. All right. So you could have multiple sessions in a day, but ultimately you're going to be identifying how much you need to make per session based off of a 5% return of investment. It is pretty much, it's very similar to traditional Forex, 5% of your principal balance. Here, the example is 5% of 500. All right. So you can see in session 1, it calculates it for you. 5% of 500, $25. So in that first session, I only need to be making $25 in that session, period. So you can risk, you know, $2, $5 per trade, but ultimately, once you hit a $25 profit, you close your computer, you close your phone, and you stop trading. Now, those of you who came in your first week, you're like, oh, I made 200, 300, 400, 500. I'm happy for you, and I know you're over trading, but it's okay because you may not have had this tool. But this is going to help you track how much you need to make per session. So say that second session of the day is at 12 p.m. and you need to make 5% of, now your principal amount is $525. 5% of $525 is $26.25. So in that session, you stop trading once you've made $26.25. All right, so on and so forth. Third session of the day, you start with your new principal. 5% of 551 is 27.56. You stop trading in that second session once you've made that $27 goal with an ending principal of 578. So this is the version, this is the same thing, but with an initial deposit of 100. So you can see a lot of you start your accounts at $50 to $100. So you can know that first session, you only need to be making $5. So you're probably going to be risking $1 to $2 per trade and making about 3 trades and winning those. Okay. So that's pretty straightforward. This is your visual. You can update this when you save this. You can update this with your principal amount. So you can track how much you need to be making per session. It's set up 1 through 6, just based off of the trading days during the week, right? Obviously not including Saturday. So that's why it's set up the way it is. That's the first tool I want to show you for HFX. Now, the second tool, which is my favorite, is the HFX Trading Journal. This one's a little bit more detailed. Rhonda shared this with me months ago, and it changed my whole entire life, y'all. So oops, that's not what I meant to do. I want to share this link, copy link. Okay, putting it in the chat. And now I'm going to go over this one. This is going to give you the detail of information you need to have a really clear, succinct, grounded, and precise trading journal. All right. So this is pretty straightforward. I can put in the date of the trade. And let me update it. What is today? Today is 8/21/21. All right. That's interesting if y'all are interested in numerology. 21/21. All right. So now with HFX, we're risking anywhere between 1% and 3% per trade. 1% and 3% per trade. Okay. We already went over the sessions of how much you need to make per session. This is telling you how much you need to make and how much you're risking per trade. All right. So say in that $100, that first session of a $100 principal, we know we need to make $5 total. Look, boom, column E, it says session goal, 5%. We want to have a session goal of 5%, which is what we said on that first table, HFX session table. It tells us the exact same thing. We need to make $5. Okay, boom, let's go over. We're risking 2% per trade. Our risk amount is $2. We're not risking more than $2 per trade. 2% of $100 is $2. It calculates it for you. Column D. So per trade, you're entering how much is in column D based off of your principal amount and how much you're risking. Boom. Then you stop trading. You know you stop trading when you have a session profit of $5. Depending on the payout, the percentage payout within your broker, that might take 3 trades, it might take 4 trades, it might take 2 trades. All right. But you're not risking more than $2 per trade. So it's probably going to take 3 or more. Now, the beautiful thing about this table, y'all, please pay attention. Boom, column H. This is Bay right here. Stop if your balance drops to $95. If you lose the amount that you're supposed to risk or the amount that you're supposed to gain, your session goal, if you lose that amount, you stop trading. Put 2s in the chat if you've heard of revenge trading. 2s in the chat if you've heard of revenge trading. 2s in the chat. Well, let's do 1s in the chat if you have ever revenge traded. Okay. What that means for those of you who are unsure is you lose a trade, you're like, all right, I think the market's going to go in my direction. Let me try to make it back up. Let me make up what I lost plus some profits. You lose again. All right, let me trade one more time and try to make up what I just lost. You lose again. Okay, now I hate losing money. So let me just this one trade just to make back what I lost. I don't even need profit. Lose again. That's what we call revenge trading. When your balance drops to this amount that's in column H, that knocks that completely off the table. This will hold out. Let me tell you something. This trading process, if anything, will hold a mirror up, okay, to your character, your discipline level, your focus level, your concentration level, and you're going to have to face some hard truths about yourself. But know that it's a blessing to be in the position to face yourself in that way, because you'll be able to grow exponentially faster than the next person who's just, placating themselves and convincing themselves that there's something that they're not. So be grateful for the mirror, be grateful for the lessons, because you know that something is happening to make you a better person, to sharpen you into that unbreakable diamond that you are. All right. So that's pretty much the basis of the HFX that I wanted to show you. Same thing. Okay, so let's say you win this trade. Oh, let me tell you this. So you can put your trade notes. This is same on the Forex trading journal as well. This is important. When I put my trade notes, I put the pair. I say if I did a call or a put, and then I also say what I saw. So I might say, okay, there were 5 confirmations and it was with the trend. If I'm trading with an educator, I'll put the educator and the time of day. I'll always put the time of day because I like to see if there are patterns around, okay, this time of day, I happen to have a high win rate. Whereas this time of day, it's more kind of 50-50. And this time of day, I barely found any trades. Okay, so when you have your trade notes and you keep a journal of that digitally, or you can write it down for those of you who are more analog, when you can do that, you get to notice the patterns to reflect yourself, your own discipline, but as well as to learn and date and build a relationship with the patterns in the market. All right, put 8s in the chat if that makes sense. 8s in the chat if that makes sense. Let me see where my time is. Okay, I have about 2 minutes. If anybody has any questions, I have time for maybe like 1, possibly 2 questions. Please type it in the chat. Or if you have the ability to unmute yourself, feel free to do that. This one, you also auto-populate it starting at your new session amount. And then it tells you risk amount, $2.10, session profit, $5.25, continuing down. Okay, you keep updating it. Let's say we get to $500 principal. Then it tells us we're only risking 5%. So 10% of 500, excuse me, 2% of 500 is $10. All right, so we need to risk $10 per trade with a session profit of $25. So we're really probably only making like 3 trades per that with that session. And we stop if our account hits 475. Isn't that beautiful, y'all? I don't want anybody to blow accounts ever again. If you blow an account, I know you're not using a trading journal. All right, point blank period. Okay, so if there are no questions, we can wrap this up. Hopefully you all got some value and were able to save the links for those sheets and save it in your own account so you can keep track. All right.
Drop those 777s in the chat. Drop the ones. Drop that fire. Drop whatever you need to drop in the chat. No more blowing accounts. We're not blowing any more accounts. Everybody gotta stay rich. Thank you so much for that, Muriel. Like I told you guys, she cares. She took the time to break that down to a T. I'm talking about every section, every column, every number. Like if you didn't understand before today, right now, you just got a complete lesson on compound plans. Which one works? What does it look like? How does it work? Why do we use it? I'm guilty. When I first started trading, I was just trading. I didn't know when to stop. I made $1,000. I lost $1,200. I made 500. I lost 800. And I was over trading every single day, feeling the urge to just trade, not understanding leverage, not understanding percentages, not understanding any of that. And I'm guilty. I'll tell you firsthand, look, don't do that. Don't do that. Muriel just took the time to break it down for you. So I'm super grateful for that. I'm grateful that she made it sound so easy. Because I know looking at those charts, looking at those sheets, sometimes it's just a lot of numbers and you're like, okay, I don't know what that means. I'm confused on what to put here. What happens if I have this size account? What happens if I have this? What happens if I trade 20 times today? So she broke that down and like, that was one of the best explanations of a compound plan that I've ever seen. So Muriel, thank you so much. I appreciate you for just bringing that value to the team and bringing that energy, right? Energy. I don't know what these two